Dr. Brandon Buttry here, and we are about to have some serious fun, starting with an ancient reading from 1944. Darkness and light are qualities dependent upon quantities of controlled electricity. Reduce the quantity and you change the quality of the light by reducing it or increasing the darkness. Death is the absence of any quantity of life force at work in a human body. Life is the presence of the full quantity of life force at work in a human body under innate control. Now, what does that mean? Let's take a look here. This is where it gets really good. We have a cylinder of cement. A cylinder that's made of cement. And what we're going to do is we're going to pass an electric current through that cylinder of cement. Now, we are also going to pass an electric current through this copper wire. We're going to send the current through both structures, the cement and the copper. Tell me, which substance do you think is going to conduct that electricity the best? Cement or the copper wire? And this is why we choose copper in the wires that power our homes, because it is a more efficient conductor. Now, where am I going with this? The reading we just talked about was talking about a life force, a life power. What is life force? Well, any great chiropractor will tell you that life force is simply the electricity that is flowing in your body. Electricity from where? From the power plant, from the brain, down the spinal cord and out the nerves, across the wires, you might say. Now, here's the question. And here's where it gets really interesting. Clean this up a little bit. Now we've dealt with some industrial materials here. Let's dive into the human body and let's take a real look at this now. And let's take a look at something that matters to us and to our health and our healing and our longevity going forward. If we have two spinal segments, beautiful disc in the middle. Two spinal segments. We have the nerves which come out from the hole created by those two spinal segments. This is a nice inline spine with two nice online nerves, meaning those nerves are carrying that electricity, that bioelectricity, the electrical signals that help run the human body coming from the brain, down the spinal cord, out the nerves to all the tissues, all of the tissues, muscles, glands, organs, everything. And those nerves are intact and they're functioning well. And so what? That means somebody's overall health is in a high status, you might say. Now, let's take a look here at this person's spine. You can already see where this is going. Distorted spine, distorted disc, causing inflammation and inflaming at least one side, maybe even both sides of the nerves which emanate from that spine. And here's the kicker. Just like the cement and the copper, let's take a look at this in the human body now. Now we have inflammation introduced into this equation. Let me ask you something. When they test the amount of conductivity in a nerve, the ability and efficiency of a nerve to conduct that human electricity that flows through our bodies, powers all the other tissues, when they test those nerves, does a nice normal deflamed nerve conduct electricity better or worse than one that's irritated and inflamed? The nerve that is inflamed will conduct electricity less efficiently. And of course, the healthy, nice, normal nerve with no inflammation on it will conduct electricity more efficiently at a normal rate, you might say. Now, what does that mean for us? This nerve here versus that nerve is the difference between an optimal expression of health and a 90%, an 87%, a 62% expression of health. Depending on where those nerves go, we can start to see different symptoms. And what happens with symptoms? Well, they get labeled, we get a pill for it, and that's it. What about the underlying cause? What about this conductivity? What about the electrical signals flowing through those nerves? That is the underlying cause which the chiropractor seeks to find and then correct and eliminate that inflammation on that nerve. And then what will happen as we restore that transmission to that nerve so it resumes the function of a normal nerve, we start to elevate the conductivity of that nerve. It becomes more efficient, can conduct the electricity better to where? Well, to wherever tissue that goes. It depends on what level of the spine. Is it in the low back? Is it in the middle back? Is it in the neck? Is it way up here by the head? All those nerves on each side of the spine go to different places. And so if one nerve aside from the other is inflamed, or this nerve down in the low back is inflamed, or one up in the neck, that can produce and will produce different symptoms depending on the human being in which it's happening. I have here a model that I built. This is a model of what a nerve looks like. There are several different colors on this. Why? Because different fibers of a nerve do different things. So pressure or irritation on one part of this could produce a different symptom than another part. The nerves in the body are just like wires. It's exactly what they are. They are carrying and conducting the electrical power generated by the power plant, the brain, that must get to the rest of the body if we hope to keep the lights on, if you will. Do you want full power in every organ of your body? Do you want full power to all the muscles and glandular type tissues, the glands responsible for producing the hormones that are going to be in your blood? If you really think about it, where do hormonal imbalances come from? Why? What is the underlying cause? Really think about that. We don't have time to get into that, but it's a good question to ask yourself and to sit and think about. Everything starts at the brain. 100% life is in the brain. It's got to get to all the tissues so that those tissues can follow directions from the brain. The brain is the master computer, master controller in the body, and that's what we're seeking to assist in this situation. We're simply seeking to remove the interference, that irritation, so the brain can do its job throughout the rest of the body. That is it. And when that's the case, you can heal and maintain that optimal health as we've talked about. Let's look at this in the realm of blood flow. Here we have a model of an artery that you might see in a cardiologist's office. And what this shows is a nice open artery where blood can flow through. Will that artery conduct blood flow efficiently? Absolutely. And now let's look here at about 5 to 10% plaquing. You can see this over here when the plaque starts to build up. That will conduct some blood flow, not too bad. And then we get here to about 40, 50% plaquing. Now the conduction in that artery is starting to become about half as efficient. Would you agree? Of course. Just makes perfect sense. And now we have 80%. Not a very good conductor of blood. Not going to allow for very efficient blood flow. In the blood vessels, it's the plaque that gunks it up, makes it less efficient. In the spine, it is the irritation which will leach over into that nerve, which will block not blood, but electricity. Now we can see blood flowing through the arteries. You can't see electricity flowing over the nerves, but it's there. We don't know how the electricity, we don't understand it exactly, but we know if we put a knife in that outlet over there, you're going to get shocked. We know it's there. We know it's running the body. We can test it, measure it, verify it. We know it's powering the body. And we know that to the degree that the spine is in perfect alignment, will we have perfect and efficient electrical conductance across those nerves, therefore keeping the body in as perfect condition and health as possible going into the future. This is Dr. Brandon Buttry for OneHealth Chiropractic, reminding you that when the spine is in line and the nerves are online, the body is well balanced and has limitless potential. Thanks for watching.